Yes. Okay. All right. So I know a lot of you have, really been stepping up your social media and stuff, and you guys have been doing a really, really good job. Christina, like she's been a coach of mine for like a couple months, but her like social media is really good. Like she's really good with the collages and stuff. So if you guys are ever like, I'm not quite sure how to post something, look at Christina West's social media, because even I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. That was a really good post. Like I need to take notes on that. So she's really good. And but all of your guys' social media has been like spot on. Like I'm interested in what you guys have to say. It's not boring. It's genuine. It's not salesy at all. And that is awesome. So keep it up. I will say, just make sure you have a really good balance on what you're posting. As new coaches, you don't want to bombard people with like Beachbody and working out and health and fitness like all the time, because especially a lot of you are new to like really being on Facebook regularly. So if that's all people are seeing, they're going to be like, it's like too much. I'm going to start blocking Ava. I'm going to start blocking Tanya because I just don't want to see you working out all the time. So make sure you have a good balance. Like I said, like try to post a workout picture or a video or something related to that, like 2 to 3 times a week right now. And maybe throw in a nutrition or what you're eating. If you're doing 21 Day Fix, just a sample of what you're eating, and then just say like, oh, 21 Day Fix, making it easier, whatever. And then balance it out with family and other interests. I know a lot of you guys have an outside life, so just make sure you're sharing that as well. And when you guys are posting your workout pics and stuff like that, make the post interesting and kind of tell your story, parts of your story in that as well. Like if you're on a journey to lose weight or get your body back after baby, share that with your post. Like, oh, I did Insanity Max 30 today because I am like taking, I'm that much closer to getting to my goal weight, or, getting stronger every day, or just share a little bit about your story. Don't just say like, I did my workout and, because that's kind of boring. So you want people to relate to you. So if they see you doing that consistently, they're going to say, hey, Tanya's been doing Insanity and she's like, already dropped like 8 pounds. Wow. I want to do that, or I want to get results like that. So make it relatable, be consistent. I mean, you guys have all had a lot of really positive feedback, which is great, but you're not always going to get that. And you're going to have some posts where, nobody comments on it. You only get like a few likes, and that's okay. That's going to happen. But people are still seeing it. So that's why being consistent is really, really important. So keep posting through the crickets. It's going to happen. You may have a run of like a couple months where you just can pull people off of posts alone. But eventually that hot market is going to dry up, and you're going to have to start inviting people and reaching out to people. And that's where being consistent on social media will really tie everything in and make those invites a lot easier for you, and have people interested still because they're still watching you. So keep adding value, keep sharing you, keep being you, just be genuine and be honest and share your feelings, because that's what really speaks to people, and that's how you build those relationships. Okay, so tonight I want to talk about challenge groups, and I've had a lot of you guys ask questions about that, so that's what I'm going to, discuss with you guys tonight. What I like to do with my new coaches is, I know the thought of a challenge group is scary, like running your own is scary, it's overwhelming. You don't, all of you have been a part of my challenge groups at some point. But the thought of running one on your own is very scary, and I get that. So I always open my challenge groups up to whoever wants to be a part of it. So the one I have scheduled for this month is September 21st. I like to run them usually the last Monday of the month. I'm running this one a little bit earlier, but I'll make sure I post a schedule so you guys always have an idea of when it is. If I don't, post it in the group or message me. But I'm going to be really good about trying to make sure I have a monthly calendar up so everybody knows and is on the same page of when things are run. So I'm going to be running one on the 21st. You guys, I would love, unless you are just like adamant about running your own, which is totally fine if that's what you want to do and you're ready for that, go for it. I'm not going to hold you back or anything. It's your business. But if you guys want to have a little bit more support and a little more guidance, jump in mine and we can just run it together as a team. I have found that when I do run challenge groups with other coaches, I get a lot more people posting in there. I get a lot more excitement just because, we're all posting in there. We're all, sharing our sweaty workout pictures. We're sharing little tips that, I'm sharing a tip. Christina may share a tip. Tanya may share a tip. Ava, you had a lot of like issues you had to work through to become successful. I mean, you could bring a wealth of information to people who are struggling. So just having that and having a big support network and it really goes a long ways, and people really have a lot of positive feedback to say about those groups. So we can run that group together. So what I do is I have a ton of different challenge group sample posts. Like for 30 days, I have 30 days worth of posts in our Dropbox. So you are welcome. Usually what we do is each of us takes a day that we post, and we're in charge of that day, and we can post whatever we want. I do like to run little mini challenges throughout the group, and that we'll kind of talk about beforehand. But pretty much you're free to post whatever you want, as long as it's helpful. It can be a motivational quote. It could be a recipe. It could be a Shakeology recipe. It could be a workout tip, a traveling tip, something with kids, whatever. Feel free to share it on your day or even just throughout the week if something, really speaks to you that you want to share. So, let's see. So what we want to do now is, this is about the time that I start inviting to my challenge group on the 21st. So I like to do it like 2 to 3 weeks out. That way I have, I can send a bunch of invites and I have time to respond to people, really talk to people, find out what their goals are, what their reason is that they want to join, and give them time to think about it, and then give them time to order and be able to get it in time to start. So this week I'll be focusing on inviting. Plus, that gives me time to get my Success Club points early in the month so I can spend the rest of the month, focusing on my coaches, helping them hit Success Club and getting everything set up so that at the end of the month, I can just kind of go on cruise control and start focusing on next month's challenge group and next month's invites. So now's the time to start reaching out to people. Make sure you guys have your lists. You all should have your list, and it should be more than 5 people. I do not invite like 2 or 3 people every month. I don't. You're just not going to be successful if you're just reaching out to a couple people. I have a list of, at least 20 people that I'm inviting, and I have a pretty solid list of people who are pretty much ready, who I've been forming with for the last couple months and, just haven't been ready. Timing wasn't right. And, I know that this month is going to be the month that they're going to want to commit. So I have my big list, and then I have my condensed list of those people that are showed genuine interest in wanting to do one. So get that invite list together. And there are two things I do. I'll start jabbing on social media. So jabbing means just throwing little posts out there that kind of get people thinking about it, but not necessarily inviting people to a challenge group. So I will share like a challenge or success in the group. If they, dropped, 2 pounds this week, or if they're feeling energized, if they, have worked out every single day this week and have never done that before, if they're feeling good, just little things like that, I will start sharing on social media. Obviously, you guys don't have challengers right now, or most of you don't. So what I would do is, a lot of you guys are in one of my challenge groups now, so I would just share how that group is helping you in a very indirect way. Just like you were sitting down having a conversation with your friend about, how your fitness journey is going, that's how you want to share it. So start doing that a couple times a week, very indirect, because that's going to get people watching, thinking, so when you do send that invite, they're going to remember seeing that. They're not necessarily going to comment on your post. They're not necessarily going to like it, but it's there for them to see, because it's all going to kind of tie together when you send that message to them and you start having that conversation. So what you want to do now is you want to start inviting to your hot market, and that's going to be people that you have a really solid relationship with. Think of it as people you would invite to your birthday party or your child's birthday party. You don't have to you don't have to spend a lot of time like really finding out about them and their family and all of that. You kind of have a background with them already. Those are going to be the people you want to reach out to now. Another list you should make are people who are commenting on any of your fitness or nutrition posts or liking them. So start keeping track of stuff like that. Just look on your personal page and just go through all those posts that are fitness or nutrition related, and just write down those names of people who have liked them, because that's going to be the people who are already watching you, because they have left their mark. So that's a really easy way to start making that list if you just feel like you have no idea who to add. That's a good start. So what I like to do first is send out personal invites before I actually make a Facebook post inviting people to a challenge. Again, this is a way I just kind of make it full circle. So just, when you send out those invites, if people don't respond or they've ignored you or they're not quite sure, they'll see that post too, and it'll be a way to get them thinking about it again. So I'll send out personal invites to my hot market list, and I just keep it really simple. So this would be people like you guys, good friends, who you think, I'm sure a lot of you can think of at least 5 people who would be interested in doing something like this, or who trust you enough that if you say hey, I'd really like you to do this with me, would you be interested in doing it? They'd be like, okay, sure. You always have good ideas. It will be fun. Why not? So, what you want, the main goal when inviting, is to find out their why, the reason why they want to do it, and their goals. You need to make sure you have that first before you really start even kind of talking about a product or even the challenge group in general. So you want to make sure you're inviting them to something that will help them reach their goals and fits with their why. Because if you kind of just go into it with the mindset of, I just want them to buy this product, they're going to see right through that and they're not going to be interested. So you really need to get down, really get to know the person find out their reason why they want to do it and have that emotional tie to it. Like really find out like how they're feeling, you know, where they want to be, why they want to be there. And it's got to be bigger than I just want to lose 20 pounds. That's a very shallow goal. What will losing that 20 pounds do to that person? How will it make them feel? A lot of it, you know, and a lot of us, we're kind of the mom market. So, you know, losing that 20 pounds is going to make them feel more confident. It's going to give them more energy so they can run around with their kids, because we all know how tiring kids can be. And, you know, if you have a good exercise and nutrition plan, like you feel good and you're able to keep up with them, you know, fitting back into those jeans again, and, you know, really just getting that confidence back. So make it more than just a weight loss goal. Make it, you know, make them really think about how that will make them feel. So you want to share with them how this group can help them and how it can help them reach their goals, and really show them that this goes farther than a product. Like I say, the products are the tools, but what we do as coaches and these accountability groups and how these support networks are is really what takes this to the next level. And that's really what gets people results. So we want to make sure that we share that effectively with people so that they know that that's a really good value. You know, they're not just seeing $120 for Shakeology and 21-day fix. They're seeing having you as their support for a lifetime, having those tools and that knowledge that will help them, you know, reach their full potential. This isn't just 30 days. It's, you know, setting them up to be successful for the rest of their life. So I want to make sure that people understand that before I even address the cost issue. Because I think when people think long-term, it's a good value. But if they think of, you know, oh, it's $120 like right now. And I think a lot of people just think like this is just like a one-time thing, but it's not. I always assure them that I am there for them for life or until they want to get rid of me. And, you know, I'm not going to be offended if they, you know, I'm just too much for them maybe. But I want them to know I'm with them every step of the way. And, you know, even after the 30 days, if they, you know, are ready to go out on their own, or if they want to, you know, be in challenge after challenge after challenge, I am always there for them. So make sure you get that point across. And make sure you keep the conversation about them, always about them, but make sure you share in how you can relate to them as well, in how they're feeling or what they're going through or their hesitations. And make sure you make it about their why, their reason. So here's a sample invite I send out to people that I haven't, like, you know, messaged before. Obviously, these are people I know really well, but, you know, this is just an invite I send out to somebody. So I make my list and I'll send this invite out. I'll say, hey, you know, whatever their name is, and I'll start a little conversation, nothing related to fitness. So you'll know these people, you know what they're going through already because they're your hot market. So I'll ask about, like, how was their kid's first day of school, or how was their soccer practice, or what they thought of their trip to Disneyland, or whatever they're going through at the moment. I'll talk a little bit about that. I'll ask questions so that they have something to answer that's non-fitness or challenge group related, so that we can start that conversation, because that's what I really want. I just want to start the conversation about anything, even if it's like, hey, oh, by the way, like, I love that recipe you brought to the potluck. Like, would you mind sharing it with me? Like, just whatever. After that, my next paragraph, I'll say, I also wanted to let you know that I'm starting a fitness and a nutrition accountability group to help me and make this about you, why you want them to join you, to help me get back on track after summer, and just share. All of us have kind of had, I know for me, we just got back camping and had like s'mores and wine last night. So I need to get back on track, and these accountability groups are, you know, money for me. They really do help me with my diet and exercise. let's see, I want to get back on track after the summer. My diet and exercise has really gone to the wayside, and I'm tired of feeling worn out and just, fatigued, and really need a change. I'd really love to have a few people join me because I know it's easier if I have a support network. Would you be interested in joining me, or you want to join me? It'll be fun. Is it something you'd be interested in? And this is where I make it very casual, like how I would talk to somebody. If I wanted somebody to go camping with me, hey, you guys should totally go camping with me. It'll be fun. We can do this, this, and this, just very casual. And just leave it at that, okay? You'll have 3 responses to that. You'll either get ignored, or it'll be, yeah, that sounds like something I'd be interested, or you would get a flat out no. So if they say yes or want to know more information, explain the group. And, they're probably going to, when they answer answer you back, they're probably going to answer a question about, whatever you had talked about in the beginning. So make sure you just keep, answer that first. Get that conversation going, and then just kind of, if whatever they said regarding the challenge group, talk about that, make it fun a little bit. For example, like if somebody said like, oh yeah, like I'd love to do a challenge group because, I have been a mess. Or, like I haven't exercised in like 6 weeks or whatever. I'll just kind of make light of that, bring that up in a fun way. Like, oh, like I totally know how that goes. Like, and just kind of relate to that. Be fun, be engaging, be casual, and relate to them. Then what I do is I'll kind of explain the group a little bit, and I'm not going to go super in depth because, again, you want to just keep this conversation going. You don't want to just like vomit all the information all at once because it's going to be too much for them to process in the beginning, especially for a lot of your invites because they're not really used to what you're doing right now. So it's new to them. So you don't want to come off as too salesy. So I'll just share a little information, breadcrumb it, so that I know I'm going to have 3 or 4 solid conversations with them. So I'll explain the group. Again, I keep it kind of simple. So I'm just putting a group together of people all wanting to make changes. Honestly, the support and accountability is what makes the difference, and it's often what people are lacking. There is just, something about having that accountability. Then I'll kind of ask them what their goals are and find out more about what they are looking to achieve. So are you looking to lose weight, or are you just kind of looking to get into a good routine again, get some energy back? I'll ask about their diet. Do they tend to eat pretty healthy, or do they overindulge? What are their struggles? In a minute when I'm done, okay. What are their struggles? A lot of people will probably say they just don't have time to work out, or they have a sweet tooth. That's a big thing. Almost, I think, every struggle people have is the sweet tooth. So that's really easy to relate to for me because that's my big struggle too. So just find out more about them so that you can start thinking about what would be a good program for them. If they have any injuries, what's holding them back? What they enjoy doing. Obviously, there's not going to be one program that fits everybody. I'll have a lot of people where 21 Day Fix is a good fit for them. But if it was me, for example, if somebody invited me to a challenge group and they, said like, oh, 21 Day Fix would be a good fit for me, and it was my first time ever doing an at-home program, if I had popped 21 Day Fix in, I would have said, this is the dumbest thing. This is not my cup of tea. I cannot stomach this workout. But if someone was like, hey, Insanity Max 30, I think you would love it, and I popped that in, I was like, I'm sold. I will be a coach because I love it that much. So really get to know the person. and find out what interests them and what would be the best fit, because you want to have something that fits them, that they're going to enjoy, that they're going to stick to, and that they're going to get results from. So things to think about are like injuries, dietary restrictions, and then things they really struggle with. Like some people have like back problems, or they just really don't like cardio. Or they just really are attached to like weight workouts. So just things like that you want to pick up so that you can find a good fit for them. So I'll give you a little example of kind of what I say if somebody comes back that they're interested. And I'm going to share this. I have it in a document so I can share it with the group too. So here is a sample of somebody who had commented on like one of my size group posts. So I kind of explained in the beginning what size was. So then I kind of went on explaining what the challenge group was about in just very like broad terms. I wasn't very specific. So I said, we'll focus on making small changes and making small changes that add up to make a big difference over time. Honestly, the support and accountability, like, hey, don't eat that, and when somebody's struggling with a craving at night, is what makes the difference and is often what people are lacking. There is just something about being surrounded by people moving in the same positive direction, but have similar obstacles and struggles, so you don't feel alone in all of this. You know what I mean? We pick each other up when you fall. For me, I just kind of made fun of myself for size. Like I probably literally will fall on my face, and cheer each other on when we grow and change. Plus, it's just a fun atmosphere with prizes. Sound like something that you would be interested in, or, that's right up your alley or whatever. That's just how I am. I try to make it easy breezy. Like we have a close relationship. So she responded back like, yeah, that looks like fun. That looks like something I'd be interested in. So then that's when I'm going to get a little more in depth. That's when I'm going to explain the challenge group a little more about what it's going to offer her. Some people will say like, hey, that sounds good. How much is it going to cost? Make sure that you don't answer that right away. You don't want to be like, just like share the price with them right away, because you really want to make sure that they know exactly what that challenge group is going to do for them. So this is what I replied back. She said, it sounds like fun. I do love dance, although I'm not great at it. I could definitely use some accountability and motivation. And most people are going to say that. That is what people are missing. And that's what people really, really want. Programs are good, but what people are lacking is that accountability. So I said, don't worry, you'll fit right in. I'm using this more as I really want to learn to dance type of group for me. So we'll probably do some fun things along the way to keep things fun and energized, plus hopefully create some healthy long-term habits. Here's a little bit about the group. We'll be doing size together. The workouts are great. You can do them at home on your own schedule, and they're about 30 to 40 minutes in length. We all start on the same date, and all of us are replacing one meal a day with Shakeology. This is when I share Shakeology, because I make Shakeology a requirement for my challenge groups, but I let them know in a way that is kind of indirect, so that they're just kind of reading it and like, okay, this is just what comes with it. I never really tell them there are options of not getting Shakeology unless they specifically ask about it. So, because really I want them to see the value in the challenge pack. First of all, the challenge pack is a great price. It's a good value. I can't even get things separate at cost for the price of a challenge pack. So I want to make sure that they really see the value in that. So let's see. We'll all start on the same date, and all of us are replacing one meal a day with Shakeology. I know it's an investment, but it has had such an incredible impact on my journey. My energy levels during deployments and when life gets crazy, a quick option I leaned on with a busy lifestyle, controlling my cravings I struggle with during stressful times, and just feeling good. It fills the void in my nutrition, in our nutrition that we're often lacking. And then I'll just say, anyways, I'll be working close with each and every person and just helping every step of the way. You'll have full access to me as you are my priority, so you can message me anytime with anything you need. That's a pretty good deal, and I'll be right next to you the entire time. And then I put in parentheses, but not annoying, because I don't want people to think that I'm going to be like texting them every 5 minutes. You know, I'm going to fit my coaching to people's needs. So we'll be checking in with each other daily on Facebook in a private group that is put together just for us. These small groups at a level of support and accountability next to none. I'll be tackling meal planning, health and fitness tips, and giving ideas on how to tackle everyday struggles. Meal plans will be provided as well. Honestly, you've got everything you need. You just need to show up and go grocery shopping. So that's just how I kind of put my little spin on it. I like to be kind of funny, I guess. So her response was, all right, then, you know, that sounds good. Do I need to order the Shakeology? So I let her know what day it started, and I said I'll be getting the group together. I tell them when I start the group, so I always start my groups about 5 days before, so the week before. So I want to make sure that they have time to order, so I let them know that, you know, I just want to make sure you get everything in time so you're not rushed or anything like that. And then I sent her my direct link to the size Shakeology, or the size challenge pack. Then I didn't hear her for a couple days. So what do you do if you haven't heard from them? This is when you do a follow-up. So I followed up with her a couple days later because she sounded interested. So I just shared, I know follow-ups are scary because you think people hate you. That's the first thing you're going to think when people either say no or they don't respond to your message. You automatically think that they don't want to be your friend anymore, and they've defriended you and they never want to speak to you again, which is not the case. So share that fear with people. So I said, hey, just checking back in. I hope I'm not bugging you. And then I said, I know I get busy and miss my messages a lot, because I know for me, like, I'll read messages on my phone and then I don't have time to respond to them. And then when I go back to answer messages, it's not like highlighted. So I forget about it and it gets lost. And so I know that happens to people. So I'm going to not take it personally if somebody says no or doesn't get back to me. So, anyway, not sure if you saw my message the other day, but have you, thought about joining our group? My group is filling up, so I wanted to check back with you first. I want to make sure that, they know that they're my priority. So then she just came back and said, no, I wasn't bugging her. She was just waiting a couple days until she could order. So that's really most people's thing. They're either just not sure about it, or they need to wait a couple days and think about it, or they just forget about it. So always make sure you do that follow-up. So that's what you would say if your message is ignored or you've seen that they've read it and just haven't responded back. So I always send those like 2 or 3 days later. And just be easy. Just make it a quick little message. If after you've sent that follow-up and you still haven't got a response back, then that's when, I'm not going to keep bombarding them and annoying them. That's when I'll just add it to my next month's list of possible invites, and then I'll just keep showing up in their life. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to let it change our relationship. It just may not be a good time for them. And that's okay, because I know I'm going to be here when that time for them is right. And I know they'll come to me. So I'll just keep, showing up in their lives, commenting on their pictures or liking their pictures or their posts or whatever. So if you have somebody who says, we're going to kind of talk about objections now. So I'm going to talk about the 3 most common objections people have. So the first one is time. So when people come back at you with a an objection, use the feel, felt, find method. Relate to their concern and how you felt, how you can relate to them, and then find the solution to that. So one objection is time. So how you could answer that is relate to them. I know how you feel. All of us are busy, and all of us is time. So explain, like, that's where the groups in the short workout have been my saving grace. I can be in and out in 30 minutes or less and on with my day. And then kind of ask about what they're doing for their workout. I'm going to be cut off in a minute, so I'm going to make sure I share all of these in a document. Other one is money and cost. So to avoid this, I very rarely get cost objections, because I do a very good job of sharing what the challenge group is all about and focusing on the challenge group and less on the product. So make sure you've slowed down and have explained what we do in our group. So make sure you have that whole dialogue of really sharing with them what the groups are about and how they've helped you before you tackle the cost. So if they ask what the cost is, after I've made sure I've explained all that, then I'm going to tell them what they get for that cost. So if I'm going to say, you'll get the 30 days of Shakeology, you'll get the program, you'll get the accountability, you'll get the meal plan, you'll get me, and it's all for, $140. And I'll, make sure I answer that last. Remind them that they can get their money back if they're not happy, if they don't like it. And if it's still a no, tell them you're going to run these group monthly, and, if it's okay with them, if you reach out to them at, another time when maybe they are ready. Don't take it personal. Don't be mad. Don't write them off. Just keep showing up in their lives, and they will come back. They'll all come back. So that's a good thing to do if they have that cost objection and say no, is keep them in mind for any free challenges you do, or like any 7 or 10 day Shakeology challenges you do.